This podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only. You must be 18 or older to listen and or subscribe. Anything we say should not be used to diagnose or treat any medical or psychiatric condition. Do not use anything heard on this podcast as a replacement for professional help or an attempt to diagnose yourself or anyone else. We are not licensed professionals. We are not here to treat you. Any similarities to any persons alive or deceased are purely coincidental. We will not be held responsible for any actions taken as a result of anything heard on this platform.
I can't help it.
We still have 8 hours of recording time available.
That's
Okay.
it? What happens after 8 hours?
They
Well,
cut
I
us
just
off.
copy everything over and delete what's on the disk and start over.
Oh, okay.
Wow. I don't know
It's
either.
just-
I was like,
But yeah.
what happened?
I don't know. I told you
Just
they cut
8
us
hours
off.
on this memory card.
Oh, the memory card.
Memory
Oh,
card.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
we got
they
8
cancel
hours
our
of it.
podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's it.
They cancel
Get
culture.
it in now.
There's probably some way to like tie it into the computer, but whatever.
Okay.
Technology.
Anyways. All right. Everybody ready?
Ready.
Freddie.
Welcome back to the Bonfire
Here we go
podcast. Around the
Thanks.
bonfire.
One of these days, I'm going to come in with the statistical number of how many times he can do this without repeating it and get it wrong.
You can listen. I have to re-listen to all the episodes. So
I want
you can,
feedback from the listeners, what they think.
We don't have any way to feedback. I was telling you this earlier.
We don't have for you to say we don't have any listeners.
No, we have listeners.
I love you all.
We
love you.
All four of you, no.
We have listeners. We just have. They have no way to feedback.
Heart
us.
hands.
Yeah, heart
Yeah.
hands. We're making heart hands.
Somebody
right now.
can start an Instagram
Consensual cuddles.
or a TikTok. Can you message on TikTok?
Yes.
Okay.
can
So,
do
If
yeah.
you're both friends, you can message.
oh, so
you
yes,
both have to accept the friendship.
we gotta do like a Discord or a Reddit. Should we do Reddit? We should do Reddit.
Reddit would be cool.
Let us know out there. Just scream into your
Scream into the
Spotify.
void.
Wouldn't we have to like put this on Reddit so that people could give feedback on it?
No,
Oh,
we
God.
can make a Reddit page.
Yeah, just make a
Subreddit.
page and say, hey, we have a podcast.
Around the
Okay.
bonfire.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks for downloading or tuning in to
We love you.
This new episode of Around the Kinky Campfire.
Oh yeah, is that one? Yes.
That one.
The
Yes.
campfire. that's
Hey,
the
campers.
bonfire.
Hey, campers.
Hold on. We got to talk
Thanks
about
for
this.
tuning
So
in,
yes,
campers.
Reddit. You just make a Reddit channel and they can respond.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if there's a way that all three of us can moderate. So somebody would have to do that. Or Instagram or I already said TikTok. What's the other T? Twitter. That one
Twitter.
too.
That one.
I'm not on Twitter.
I'm
Yeah.
on Twitter. Twitter would be way easier.
Or Discord or something.
No,
Yeah.
because Discord, you have to invite people to your Discord.
I think that would
Yeah.
be a pain.
I don't want. No,
I think Twitter would be
No,
good.
you just
I already
post
have
it.
enough Discords. I have to keep up.
Oh,
with.
Jesus,
No. Yeah, no. It's a different channel. You send a link out there and then they request to be in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Reddit, anybody can go, and then Twitter, anybody can go. Instagram, everybody can go.
I think just a Reddit post to start.
Reddit
Like post in the
post?
BDSM and then post in the
Oh,
polyamory.
it's good for advertising. I'm talking about for people to contact us.
Yeah, I would say, hey, we have a podcast.
Well, they could contact the account
Right.
that you're posting it under.
Yeah, Reddit.
Yeah.
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 And
That's
say,
what
can you guys listen to us and then give us your feedback and tell us what you think?
Yeah.
Are you two ready for that?
I would be if it was Reddit.
Really?
Yeah.
Of all the platforms,
Yeah.
there's some
Or-
dude.
Well, yeah, Reddit's also,
It's
we
just-
can be ambiguous.
Yeah, I just don't know what I could keep up with. Like,
I mean, I
I
have
don't know how
Reddit,
invested I want to
so
be in doing that.
Yeah, you could do
It wouldn't
that.
be that much more for me to keep up with Reddit.
Yeah, I don't. I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
can be
'Cause I got my own shit
sea
going on, too.
anemones. Because Reddit,
Anemones.
yeah, because they really
Yeah, I wouldn't
can't.
mind on Reddit.
Yeah, we can just,
My parents aren't going to find Reddit. I don't give a shit.
yeah. Good
No
luck
big
finding
deal.
Reddit, because you don't
Yeah.
put pictures on there. It's hard to find you.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right.
intros.
So, yes. Are you going to do the intro now? You talked about this last time. Did you have an official intro?
Oh, I did. I wrote it down in my other notebook and I can't find it.
And you can't find the note.
Yay. Yeah, it looks like this one.
Of course.
I don't
It's
know.
not that one.
Okay.
Oh,
so-
I'd listen to us.
that's great. That's what
Right?
it is. Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
What did you
Thanks-
say it was
thanks
last
for-
time?
No,
You-
Thanks for downloading.
No, you said
have
it.
one.
You said it. You made when you say I listened to us that a picture came into your mind and you made.
We did. We had another one. I wrote it down, but I don't
yeah,
have
I
it.
don't
Yeah,
remember.
You said it,
I should
you
leave
think-
my notebook here.
Anyways, Yeah, they will have already heard that episode because it comes out when we're recording this month, in like next week.
Okay.
We had a couple. We can get feedback on that too. Who knows?
So for us, it's next week. For them, they've already listened to it. So.
I can do something about campfire stories. I should write that down. That's funny.
This is come around the kinky campfire of the bonding stuff. All right. Anyways, to my right, I have
Dame.
nobody's confused this time.
Exactly.
And to
I'm
my
not
left-
talking until I look at you and see both your hands and your eyes
my
looking at
left.
me. Yeah. And I'm looking at what's your left. This is
To-
Esme again.
Esmeralda.
It is actually Esmeralda. You're right.
And
was gonna
today,
say, no, it's not. It's
I
Esmeralda.
am Mr. Cheddar Bay Biscuits.
Ooh, Mr. Biscuits.
Mr. Cheddar
Like
Bay
a busted
Biscuits.
can of biscuits?
Oh,
or
like a
just
cat, like the name of a cat, Mr. Biscuits.
Oh, Mr.
That's
Biscuit.
so
No.
cute. Oh, that's
Are
your
you gonna
nickname now.
purr?
No, dude.
Like Red Lobster.
No, man.
No,
You're Mr.
it's
Biscuits
Mr.
now.
Biscuits.
Cheddar Bay Biscuits.
That's it. Yeah, I have
I like
nickname.
it.
I have nicknames for him that are just the
Mr.
cutest. And
Nope.
yeah, it's
Nope.
Mr. Biscuits
You
now.
can call me sir.
I mean, I can
it.
do that too if you
You can
want.
call me daddy too.
I thought you didn't like that.
It depends.
Really?
I think it does
I've
kind of depend.
never liked that.
Yeah, I don't.
Never like that.
I don't think he.
Don't ever say never. You said it last time when you saw me at the Littles thing.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, see,
Oh.
That's true.
I think never with him also, and then I like miss out on
It always
opportunities.
Yeah.
depends on the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, you miss out on opportunities because you didn't ask.
whatever. I miss out.
So,
yeah, well, it's a mood.
We're
What am I
do
gonna ask
some
everything every day?
structure. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
We're going to do some structure. Okay. First of all, what are we drinking?
Oh, I'm not drinking any alcohol.
Truly fruit punch. Put that
I'm
out.
just drinking a bang. What is this?
Did you drink your bang?
Raging raspberry. What is this? I can't
Raspberry
fucking say that.
hibiscus?
Christ, hold on. Raging raspberry hibiscus.
Razzmatazz.
It's delicious.
Rheumatoid
actually.
arthritis.
Yes.
I am drinking. Well, I had a lemon
Ooh,
last
those are
time,
sours.
but this is Bud Light Seltzer Sour. I'm
Ugh.
drinking blue raspberry.
That sounds
thank you.
gross.
So we had.
Ugh.
Is it good? It sounds gross.
I love blue
Oh,
raspberry.
that's the
No,
sour.
The sour.
No, I like the sour. I don't like raspberry. I haven't
Oh,
tried the
sorry.
sour.
This
Can I have?
might-
I
this
want
might-
someone
nope.
you open it,
Oh,
please.
listen to Grandma Sugar.
I just want to taste it.
It's open.
Is it open? Please. I don't want a whole one. I just want a little taste.
You knew it was in there.
I just want a taste.
No.
Please.
Nope.
Fine.
Is this the structure part?
You can have the green apple.
Okay.
Yes, the
I'm
structure.
just gonna taste
Somebody
it.
needs to learn to get her own shit. And then I have Rain.
The eye roll was strong on that one.
White gummy bear. White gummy bear.
I love the white gummy bear.
You know,
big fan.
I'm gonna tell you a little secret there, Dave.
What's that?
I love your eye rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it for your eye rolls.
It's a big fan of eye rolls. Yeah.
I'm glad I can do that for
Yeah.
you.
When I
Are you not entertained?
when I edit this, I laugh my ass off.
Yeah. When I listen to this, I laugh my ass off.
Yeah,
because I can
listen to
picture
this,
what's
yeah.
actually happening as I'm
Yeah,
listening
it's
to
great.
it, and I'm like, yeah.
we
And then-
we know what we're doing. We
Yeah.
should- One day we'll get this on video and bless all of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll wear
What it?
paper bags on our heads or
I gotta
something.
listen. I gotta edit the other videos. Which the oh my god or something. The thing something you say it's just the best. I don't care what I'm saying. I don't even pay attention to what I'm saying. I just want the
of it.
reaction.
Yeah, one of
Yeah,
us will
we'll
think of
have
it.
to-
I know which one it is.
We'll get it.
We
there.
talked about
We'll
it.
get it there.
For the record, this sour green apple Bud Light seltzer is delicious.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Nothing here is sponsored.
If you want to sponsor us,
We're not sponsored by Truly.
no,
Yeah. If the little blue pill wants to sponsor, if the Tushy,
I want to do that.
if the Tushy wants to sponsor, us,
Yeah,
I'm thinking of all the podcast advertisements that
Advertisements.
advertisements.
get it right. It's
Yes,
advertisements.
advertisements.
Wingardium Leviosa, not Wingardium Leviosa.
Yeah.
I'm a Hermione. That's why I corrected
Yeah.
your
No
book.
idea. I have no
And
idea.
that's my girl,
I have no idea.
my advanced bitch girl. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like, I'm a Hermione. We're like that. And it's another fucking perfectionism trauma response. Perfectionism is a big problem.
Yeah.
So I got to
not
forgive
sponsored.
yourself.
Nature's Greens, BetterHelp, all them people.
I would love to be sponsored by
Some
BetterHelp.
people have the water, the angry water, or what the hell it is,
Angry
liquid
or-
death.
Liquid death.
Yeah,
I'm kind of mad at them.
Yeah.
yeah,
that's a-
water, and then there was Corona or something. Some alcohol did it, and then some gin did it. Not gin, whiskey, whatever. If you want to sponsor us, our link is in there. So go ahead and shoot us an email. Our mailbox is empty right
I'm
now.
going to take our picture right now. I
What?
told one of our mutual friends that we do this, and it's one that I'll tell you who it is in a second, and they're wonderful, and it's not a problem.
Did you get my background? I gotta get my background. My lights.
You
Y'all
get
don't
the-
know, but I have
you
lights.
Get the lights, and then I'll tell you who it is.
I have lights.
Do it. Get the lights because they'll love that background. You'll know who it is if I tell you that the background they would love is some of your like DC and Marvel stuff.
Yeah, there's pops up there. I got a whole pop wall there.
Exactly.
Okay, so finish this. Okay, so we gotta say why we're doing this. We're doing this because we wanna
The
make
only person I'll ever tell. 'Cause
Yeah.
Fuck everybody. I love all you. If any of you.
we do this so we want taboos to
yeah, totally.
we want not taboos.
Sorry, we're
Kink
writing-
does not need to be a taboo.
Sorry, we're passing notes to each
I
other.
was gonna say we
while the
want
teacher's
taboos.
talking.
Why do we want
no,
taboos?
Sorry,
kink is
sir.
not a taboo. That's what we're doing.
Sorry,
out there.
sir. We were passing notes in class.
Yeah, I will never say that.
I will. I will to him. I'm not saying that to anybody else. Saying I'll kiss my ass.
Never say that.
Would I call you ma'am?
Never
I say
say
yes, ma'am, but I
never.
just say it like out of fun, like when we're doing something that's
I
like
don't care.
'Cause
organized
'cause
and
you're in the
structured.
South?
No, it's like being in the military. I guess. I just like it's
Sounds
because it's structure and it's
Respect on it.
it's a respect.
But anyways,
thing, yeah.
that's why we're doing this because kink is not a taboo.
But no,
Neither
you're the
is
only person I'll say
non-monogamy.
sir to, unless
Yeah.
it's a joke to somebody else.
Bastards.
What are you even talking about?
Oh, I had a fun conversation with my mom. I forgot to tell you about that.
He's just talking.
Yeah.
You know, I was just thinking now.
Hit
'Cause
it.
kink is not a taboo. That's what made me think about it.
All right, let's
Okay.
talk about that
Talk
first
about
because
there.
I want to hear what
We're
you have to
just
say.
talking about book.
We're gonna
We'll do
okay.
that. We'll do that later. But anyways,
Hold on.
listeners,
Let me tell the
You get a
listeners.
little tease. What we could do the backgrounds because we haven't done the backgrounds yet.
Hold on. Let
Or
me
we
tell the
haven't
listeners.
published it.
Let me tell the listeners.
But we're talking about PolySecure right now.
yes.
That's what we're talking about.
Let me talk to them for a second,
No,
please.
What are you talking about?
I'm just going to do a little thing. Okay, this podcast topic, we actually chose a topic. We were going to talk about the book PolySecure by Jessica Fern. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And first, we're going to go on a little squirrel because, I don't know,
what
because
we
we feel
do.
like it.
It's what we
Because
do.
old Mr.
That's what it
Biscuits.
is. That's
Mr.
what
Biscuits
everybody
over
does.
here.
That whole-
There are literally podcasts out
Going to
there.
start the
We're
damn
squirreling.
podcast talking about structure, and
Old-
we
old-
already squirreled.
yeah.
No,
Fuck
I checked off
Old
boxes.
Dr. Cheddar wants to talk about background first. Write that down. Old Dr. Cheddar over here wants to talk about his
Almost
background.
had a splash zone here.
Yeah.
No, we're done. That is our intro. We're doing that now.
I didn't even take any Xanax today. I'm just
This is
feeling
our official
feisty.
intro. We say we're drinking. We're not sponsored. Intros.
And then we fuck around,
listen to
and then
us.
people find out.
And then we say
Write that
why
down.
we're doing this.
Because we would like to fuck around and then have you find out.
What?
Oh, we fucked.
Kink is not taboo.
We fucked around so you could find out. I don't know. These are intros, man. I'm writing these down. All
How
right,
about you write it down in something that you'll be able to find later?
it's fine.
There you go.
It's great. It's fine.
All right.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
All right, so
There's my trauma response.
PolySecure.
It's fine. All right. No. We want you to squirrel first.
What?
Yeah, squirrel, man.
No.
Yeah, squirrel.
Nope.
PolySecure is going to take like 2 hours.
No, definitely not 2 hours. We don't have 2
Oh,
hours.
Christ. It will.
People got to
Big
do stuff.
Fucking thick book, man.
Gotta no.
Squirrel, you had no. I wanted you to hear about your
I'm
mom.
pretty sure we will we'll be able to talk about PolySecure for many years to come. As long with non-monogamy, we are looking at the downloads, people. We see that you guys like non-monogamy and triggers, and I can't remember the other episodes we have a lot of downloads for. I would pull it up, but I don't remember. Anyways, y'all like that, so we will talk about this some more. So now we're going to talk about PolySecure.
Oh, fine.
So, Dame, what did you think about PolySecure?
Yeah. Do you want me to give background about what the book's about?
Yeah.
Yeah, there, go ahead.
Yes,
Yeah, so give
yes.
Dame time to think about how she
Okay.
wants
To
to
formulate this fucked up plan, I
I got one whole page about this. Actually, yeah, I have one whole page. And
I
then
agree
have
with you,
some-
buddy.
I'm just going to say, I'm just going to preference this with, I am an avid reader. I love to read. And I love books like this that challenge you because not all of my reading has to be fluff and nice. And I enjoy it for what it is. I have yet to have finished this book.
Why is that, Dame?
So
We might have talked about this already.
I have not
Calling
been able
yourself out.
to finish this book because one, okay, so I'm going to say what I said earlier.
Say it.
Non-consensual therapy. Like I
didn't ask for this.
I did not ask for this shit.
I don't consent for this deep dive.
I was expecting to
Mr.
read a
Biscuits
book.
is killing himself over
I was
there.
expecting to read a book about Poly, which I was fully like mentally prepared for. I was not prepared to have to think about all this other shit that evidently this person has tied to Polly, and how and
it's I mean, this is like her thing.
And so there was a common theme in my in growing up and in my household. And you just put your big girl panties on and dealt with it.
Rub some dirt in it.
Yeah.
And there
Stuff
was
it
a
down.
sign.
We don't talk about feelings here.
There was a sign. It was actually on like a placard, like a decor that you put in your home. And I put it in my home. Put your big girl panties on and deal with it.
Ooh, my mom says
Hung in my home. And so as I'm reading this book, I'm steadily going, what the fuck am I reading? Like, why? I don't understand. Like,
you need to laugh in the mic, mister. He's turning his head and laughing because he's laughing so hard.
Yeah. So
I'm letting her speak. Go ahead.
I couldn't get that thought out of my head, and I couldn't finish it yet. Not that I won't. I couldn't finish it yet.
You'll finish it.
Because it was just like, how many more ways can we come up with making excuses for how we are now?
It's a hot take. It's a hot take right there.
Yeah.
That's what I couldn't
It's
get
hot
past.
because it makes me angry. Are we actually recording?
No, that's not it.
That's close enough.
Wow.
Nope.
That's not it.
That's not it. No, it's not right.
Yeah.
That was
that's
good.
That's the hot take.
Yeah. So what Dame just said. How much of an asshole do you want me to be? How much do you want me to identify with the listeners?
But here's the thing: is I knew going into this that this was not my expertise.
Okay.
It is not how I view self-help.
And maybe okay. All right.
And so I knew
shit.
I was going into this not being a subject matter expert in the subject of childhood traumas and putting the work in, as like you say,
It is the work.
Putting the like. I have a different view of how all that looks for me. And so I knew going into this, I was not going to be popular. I was not going to be.
You bet your ass. No, for some people you might be.
I was not going to be popular with this. I just knew I wasn't. I knew that this was going to be more of a sit back and
How much do you want me to call you out?
Oh no, I expected you guys to call me out.
He might not.
No, I'm not.
He's not going to.
Anyways, hold on. First a second. First of all,
I'm gonna be mean as shit, too.
First of all, then second of all. First of all, I'm not an expert. Are you an expert?
I'm not.
Are you an expert?
I'm kind of on the fence about that at this point.
You're not an expert.
What
What does Dr. K say? Nobody's an expert.
Yeah.
We're not experts here, people. Let's just put it out there. We talk about shit. The point of this is to get our opinions out.
I am
we
well
are not
studied.
expert. Not experts.
I'm learned, but not educated.
Experts.
I fully expected to go into this episode just interjecting here and there and not really having an opinion.
No, you have an opinion.
You're going to have to do the opposite.
No, this is the whole point of
have to have
this.
the
Because I
opinion.
want to hear your opinion. That's why you're on
Yeah.
this podcast. Oh, that's why we're all here.
We're here for Mr. Biscuits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are here because we have
both said
opinions.
yeah, right, yeah.
Nobody claimed to be an expert. First of all. Second of all,
I'm learned in this, so I don't.
I agree with you. I was not expecting this from this book. I found it very fascinating because I never heard of attachment theory. That's my second of all.
And see, so to me, is the subject and the material can be intriguing, but that doesn't mean that I'm not all in. I understand the validity of it. I understand what it's doing. I understand where it's going, logically and intellectually. But that doesn't mean that I subscribe to it.
Here's the deal, too. You didn't get to the middle of the book. The middle of the book.
No, I haven't gotten to the middle of the book.
And there's kind of the bigger issue. So what the middle book really is how your attachment styles affect and influence your relationships and how that actually is applicable to polyamory, but you can't understand how your relationships are affected and why they're not working or why they are working or how to improve them until you understand your attachment style and that of your partner. So you don't have to pathologize your partner because that sucks and we're not supposed to do that, but I do it every day. And I pathologize myself because I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's the idea of putting
No more seltzer for you. Give me this.
putting yourself in your partner's shoes. And the
Yeah.
ability to do that and understand where their behaviors and reactions come from. And the deep root of it, a lot of the time, these really deep reactions are childhood trauma. And you have to get through that for yourself and for your partner so you can improve your communications and relationship abilities, which is the middle of the book.
And see, and another reason why it was so hard for me to get through the beginning of the
Very
book
hard. It's
is
triggering as
because,
shit.
like I explained earlier, it's the same reason why I love Lord of the Rings, love the series, I went and saw them all in the theater. Like I absolutely
I did too. Yeah.
love them. And so I thought, well, because I love them so much, I
except that
must
one.
read the books because that's what you do. So I started reading the books and I couldn't get through it because it's so detailed and so specific and so backstory-ish that I would get lost in those details and I would get lost in all of the information that they're trying to throw at you to create this story. And I felt that's how
they're
the
setting
beginning,
you up for too long and you lose
yeah,
interest.
you lose
and you're like, where's
interest.
this
And
even
so
going? All
That's
right,
how
I'm
I
gonna tell
felt
the
in the
listeners
beginning
about
of the
that then.
book was
It is
they
like
have
that.
so many definitions and so many avenues that it goes that it all ends up blending together. And they use so many of the same similar
Very
words for
technical.
different things.
Yeah.
That it just all started blurring in my head, and I'm like, I already don't know where the story is going.
I'm giving Dame a hard nod here because that's absolutely what it is. And unfortunately, attachment theory, a lot of the words sound similar. It's all A's: avoidant, attachment, anxious. I can't think of any more, but it's hard to it's just hard to kind of keep track of it. It's also, this book is technical.
Yes.
It's very technical.
You
in
have
the
to read
beginning.
it like a textbook.
It is a textbook,
If you're
basically.
comfortable reading college textbooks,
I am, and I
you
love
have
them.
to know that that's what you're getting into
Yes.
before you read this.
Let's tell
this
everyone
is not a
then.
light summer read.
No, this is a college textbook level deep dive into psychology
Yes.
first, and then interpersonal communications, relationship dynamics.
And I think if I had
organizational
gone into
behavior.
it with the idea that treat it like a textbook, treat it like a college course, I probably would have been like, okay, I have a different mind frame for when I started it. But because I thought it was just a book about polyamory and how
it
to
is.
use it is and it isn't.
It's a
but
book about relationships, relating.
This is more what I would expect to take from a college level class on, like if I was going to get a degree in therapy.
Yeah.
And I was going to be a licensed therapist
actually
and I had to
think-
learn about
Hold on. Jessica Fern is a psychotherapist, public
Right.
speaker, and trauma and relationship expert. Let us just be clear that that's who wrote this book. The author is a psychotherapist.
So if I was
it is
going
technical.
into a structured classroom to learn about these things, then this book would make more sense to me.
All right. Yeah. It's if you don't know the expectation, you go in and it's like almost
The very first time I tried to read this book, I was in an airport waiting to get on a plane, drinking a drink,
see, I love
starting
this
a
stuff.
vacation.
You like to read for fun too. It's like
Yeah, I do for
fantasy
both.
books and stuff. Yeah, see, I like to read technical books, so I immediately dove into this. And old Mr. Biscuits is like, "Hey, Esme, you want me to read all these freaking books? Just pick one that's like really important." And I was like, "This one." And he's like, "Fine." And I hope it helped.
It's all right.
So, yeah, he's like, "Thanks for that one."
So yes,
Anxious
I
attachment.
agree with you, Dame.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're getting into, it's
But then what? But my thing is, I don't read for fun. So if everything is a textbook, then I'm all about it.
I'm kind of 50-50. Let me tell the listeners, too, the first third of the book is pretty much the first third is the attachment theory breakdown. And you're literally learning about attachment theory, which is, I'll go over that in a minute. The middle is then it starts to talk about how the relationship dynamics in your adult life are affected by your attachment style, which develops in early childhood, like toddler and infant dynamics with your family of origin. And it's really about your caregivers. So you see that there are like physiological, neurological, and psychological and psyche things that you started in childhood, and they developed your personality, and that affects your adult life and all of your adult relationships.
And I agree and I disagree on that.
Hold on. It specifically goes into polyamory in the middle, and like organizational dynamics, and talks about how the different types of polyamory are affected. Not even just polyamory, there's swinging, it's got all that. And the last part of the book is chapter 8 and on is really to me that's the meat of it. They've covered like being secure in yourself, she says the broader strokes of polyamory and security, and then It's like, what do you do with all of this? How do I relate to my partner? Give me some actionable items here and tell me how it is that I can create a secure environment to feel safe in polyamory and to for our relationships to like thrive. Not just safety and survival, but thriving in polyamory.
Well, she has an acronym called HEARTS, which is for you and your partner.
Yeah, HEART. It's that's for your partner. It's we'll get into that in a minute. Just real quick, it's the
she has parts for yourself too.
I'll get to that one. The S is for yourself. So the HEART is heart, and then she added the S. H is here, to be here and present with your partner. E is expressed delight, to be with your partner and to, smile back at them when they smile, that kind of stuff. Attunement is the A, and that's also related. It's like mirroring. It's co-regulation with your partner. We'll get into that maybe. R is rituals and routines, and T is turning towards each other after conflict instead of turning away and like stonewalling. That does not work. Turning towards and like being vulnerable. The S, she added, and it's secure attachment with yourself. If you don't have a sense of self, you cannot very easily build secure relationships. I'll call my ass out. I am a deeply recovering codependent, and codependents, people pleasers, fawn response, if any of you know what that is, we literally did not develop a sense of self. We have no identity. And so they say, get better self-esteem. And that's like, cool. If you have no sense of self, how are you supposed to have self-esteem? So you get to build from the ground up. Makes poly awesome. What did I hear recently? It was polyamory is relationships on expert mode.
Yes.
Yeah. And they're not joking. Relationships on expert mode. All right.
But here's the thing where
Dame disagreed with something in the middle there.
Real quick. Polyamory, non-monogamy, it's an expert mode thing, but it's still something you should know in monogamy too. That's what I learned being polyamorous.
Yeah, God, these books, it's like we're on expert level.
Everybody should know
if you're
about
an expert-
attachment theory.
Yes.
I don't understand.
Yes,
But
yes. It helps you heal your own
you disagree
psychological
with something?
stuff too.
You said?
No, it's fine.
I just
You
burped
wanna
into the
say
mic.
that? I know you remember what you disagreed on. But it's
No,
just
say it.
It's just shocking to me when people are in long-term relationships, but they don't know what they're like monogamous people, anybody actually, but they don't know what their partner's love language is. I don't know.
Oh, I got a weird one about that. My love language changed when my codependency got triggered. My love language is actually acts of service, and I went through some like weird traumatic shit. And my Myers-Briggs type, if anybody knows what that is, I'm probably not going to get into that.
We'll get into that.
That changed. Yeah, one of these days. That changed when I take the tests again. And my love language changed from acts of service to words of affirmation. Because it's
To receive or to give?
To receive. I've always given. I've been very good. And actually, my giving is acts of service usually too. Mm-hmm. I just naturally and I like giving gifts and whatever. But no, now my receive has changed. I need words of affirmation and like validation when I never needed that before.
Also, if
I became more emotionally sensitive instead of like cold and logical like I used to be. It triggered so much attachment like issues in me that now I literally like emotionally collapsed.
Also,
I became extremely reactive and emotional.
Shameless plug: if you want to read about or listen about Dame's history with Lord of the Rings, go and listen to our Geeking Out podcast that came out 2 months ago when this is posted.
Whatever.
Please
I hate that episode.
Continue.
I hate it. Whatever. Fine.
Continue.
I was done. What did you?
You don't want to say? This is a hot take right now. Do I need to?
Get
ready for
So
hot
when you were going
spicy.
over, when you were talking about like towards the beginning of the book, when they're talking about attachment style, and it can be traced back to when you are a toddler, say,
Yes.
with your caregiver.
It's
And
0
it's-
to 18 months, I believe,
Right.
is when your attachment style develops.
But here's the thing: is
Roundabout.
regardless of how the caretaker is, the little person still has their own personality.
Yes, it's called your temperament.
And so that's where I get stumped up on a lot of this.
I can explain it to you. Tell me.
Is yes, you might have had a specific type of caregiver, but I think that the after effects of how you turned out based on your caregiver is also based on the temperament that you had as an infant that had no bearing on anybody else.
You just nailed nature versus nurture.
That's another difficult one.
It's true, though. Your nature is that temperament that you have uniquely from the damn universe, God, whatever the hell
that
you want to
nobody
call
can
it.
influence. Like
Nobody
it's
can. It is
it's
yours.
your DNA.
Deep down in me, I know I have a certain fight And I just don't, my temperament just ended up being different. So,
well, and I see this because I can speak.
temperament is beautiful. Temperament's
Because
your soul. Like that is
Right.
you. Everything else was like your environment and what happened. And indeed, they influence each other. But they say like your traumas weren't random. Like not your traumas, your reactions and like your trauma responses are not random. They're really based on like what your natural temperament was and also the environment that you were experiencing at the time.
Right.
And so it's like your trauma responses don't choose you, that you choose them because of who you are and what you experienced. So yeah,
and
your,
I can
your
see
temperament
that,
is yours.
But your
period.
temperament is yours.
Yeah.
So you take
very
you take
strong.
a 12-month-old, a 1-year-old,
Yeah.
and twins, same
They're different.
environment,
Yeah.
same environment,
Yep.
same caregiver,
Yep.
same level of care, same level of everything. Take
Yep.
everything into account that is the same. But they are going to react differently to different things.
One might develop as a narcissist. One might develop as a
because
people-pleasing
they are still
fawn response.
individual people.
You got it. That's right.
And so that's where my mind goes to, well, then where's the validity of everything that comes after that if the very basis is what was your temperament going into all those situations?
You'll need to
Because
read-
you could have a certain temperament where you go into these situations as a child, and you could have a caretaker type person, whoever that caretaker is, who didn't let you attach to them, right? They were avoidance.
Very good.
Okay. So
Yes.
they had an avoidance type of caretaking where they didn't acknowledge you. They didn't acknowledge your feelings.
They ignore
and
you
all.
and neglect
they
you,
ignored
kind of.
you,
It's
and
sort
you
of
had
like
to
that. Or
self-soothe, and you had
dismissive. Yeah.
you had to do all that.
Yeah.
Well, somebody who has an even temperament, somebody who has a very low key temperament, somebody who has a very easygoing, okay, well, I'll just deal with it temperament, is going to react very differently than somebody who has a fight temperament or somebody who has a
People-pleasing fawn temperament.
right.
Yeah.
So is all of this, and I'm pointing at the book, is all of the beginning of this book really about the attachments that you have based on the caretaker, or is it really about the basis of what your temperament is going into every situation that you have?
Yes.
It is. It's both. You'll need to read
Because
more.
the book seemed,
is one thing.
as far as I got in the book seemed to put a lot of emphasis on the environment and the people that brought you up.
Yeah.
And the people that introduced you to attachment, not necessarily, and it doesn't seem to address the very nature of the person that it's being exposed to.
Oh, so it's almost not personal enough for you.
No,
Is what it sounds like.
because you're basing it and that's the
It's like
biggest
purely
problem
environmental.
I have. Right.
Okay.
That's one of the biggest problems I'm having is
This other book that I've got might be a little
it's
better
all
for that.
based on what other people are doing to you.
Yeah.
Not who you are
Hold
as a
on.
person.
You and your fight response. Do you realize your fight response is activated right now? And it's like I'm watching you do this. This is funny. And it looks like you're fighting. And I have the same response. That's why I see it. It looks like you're fighting for yourself. Like if you were a child and it's like, this was all imposed upon me. Where am I in this? I have control over this. It's like
Right.
they're trying to take away your autonomy by writing
Right.
this book just about your environment.
Right.
That's a damn fine fight response right there. I love you. Okay. So I don't have much of a fight response, but when I was little, somebody said
Like,
something.
how dare you label me based on other people's actions
There you
when
go.
I had my own choices and
Yeah.
I had a temperament and I had
it makes you feel
experiences-
helpless.
And I'm not helpless.
Like I'm not helpless.
And I'm not helpless.
Exactly. That's a fight response right there. You've got a more of a fierce independence too. So there's a really it's a different response. It's a fight response, and that's good. Fight responses help get you out of a lot of this. They help to protect your psyche as a
Why
child.
are you laughing at me?
Because I understand what you're talking about, and I understand what she's talking about with the fight response. Because I get where you're coming from on this book.
I do
It's
too.
because you have a huge fight response.
Yes.
But people that are less fight responsey or fawning or even like freeze,
Yeah.
they would get from this book.
I
Because
get.
there's a
both.
temperament thing, but
Yeah.
then there's also external factors, and there's some of us that
I'm not saying that the external factors aren't valid.
Oh, no,
I
no,
get
no.
that there's a lot
You
of
feel like there's
validity
something
to
missing.
it.
Like
Yes.
where's
But
temperament
it
in all this?
can't-
Where's
but
me
where
in this
is
book?
my own accountability? Where is my own regardless of what these people did to me?
Yeah.
Right.
I still chose to eat the crayon, or I still chose to
Right.
Yeah,
That's
there's
why
personal
that's
read
why-
a book
responsibility.
instead of going to bed. I still
That's
chose
why-
to run
Right.
to my mother instead of running away to my
Right,
mother.
right.
That's temperament,
I
yeah.
still chose
Yes.
to do those
Yes.
things regardless of, because you can
You're
take
hot.
the same kid. Yes. You
This
can
is-
take the
wait,
same.
wait,
Wait a minute.
I got what you're saying.
You can take the same kid and give them two different type of caregivers, and that doesn't change what the kid does. You can have a caretaker that's abusive.
It will.
okay?
It will change it, but their
But think
temperament
about this.
won't
But think
change.
about this. You can have a caretaker that's abusive. We have it all the time. We see it on the news every day.
You-
That they
what-
were
oh,
that
hold
they
on.
neglected.
Hold on, they're all abusive. Which kind do you mean?
So we'll say that
Let's get real
the
specific.
caretaker was neglectful.
Yeah, there you go.
That
I've got a
they
model in
weren't
my head you're gonna
nurturing. There was
Dismissive?
all of that.
Okay.
Right. And then you have a caretaker who is like Stepford wife, like Miss Polly Perfect, and they're crunchy mom.
Yeah.
They do everything by the book. They do everything they're supposed to do.
Tiger moms can be like that. Helicopter
The
parents
same
can be like
kid
that.
is still going to run to both of them.
That would be me. Yeah, I would do that.
So it's this book shouldn't be about the caregiver. It should be about the kid. Because evidently it doesn't matter who the caregiver is.
I want you to read this one.
Because the kid's still going to run to both of them individually.
No, we're not talking about
It's
that.
true.
We're talking about PolySecure.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna help Dame. Hold on.
So
I'm gonna
the
help
reason why
Dame.
I'm laughing is because your response is because you have such a huge fight response.
Yeah.
So I get what you're
It's
saying.
because of your temperament.
But your temperament, your view on the book is very subjective because you have a huge fight response. People that fawn or freeze would
I'm
would
a
feel
heavy fawn
differently about this
freeze.
book.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
So
I
yes.
don't fawn and freeze over shit.
Yeah, so this is why you have
Are you
such
a people
issues with the
pleaser?
book.
It depends on the situation.
Yeah, me too. If I get
but-
triggered and
Yeah.
my
But your
codependency kicks in,
temperament
I'm a
is
people pleaser.
why you feel this way about this book.
Yeah.
That's why
It's
I
why
laugh.
it's like triggering and that you want to fight against the feeling that you're having your autonomy relieved of you, and like you shouldn't take personal responsibility. Like it's going to be people making excuses like, oh, I was abused, I'm triggered, you have to stop saying that word. It's those people that would take advantage of something like this and blame the environment. You want to both keep your autonomy and take personal responsibility so that you know you are not helpless and you can change this. You do not want to have that taken away from you. In the book, it feels like the book's taking it away by not talking about your temperament as
Right.
a person. Yeah, there you go. This book, I have another one in my hand.
No,
Don't stop it,
we're
Mr.
not
Biscuits.
talking about that.
Listen,
we're
go
talking about
knead-
PolySecure.
Go knead on a blanket, Mr. Biscuits.
If you,
you fucking
I'm
wait.
not a cat. I am not a cat.
Meow meow. Go meow meow.
Yeah, if you want to talk about another book, you wait till another episode.
I want Dame to read Complex PTSD.
No.
Are we just
No.
going to ignore that?
Yes.
No.
I want Dame
Yeah,
to read Complex
She can say
PTSD.
whatever she wants. I don't ignore her little.
From Surviving to Thriving by
What?
Pete Walker because he
no,
writes
we're not
this
talking
from
about no.
the child's
we're not
perspective.
talking about this.
I literally just wanted to say that. Now I'm
It's
done.
another episode. Stop squirreling.
I'm not squirreling. It's very
So,
important. I'm
That's
Dame,
why I laugh.
I'm responding to your fight. You're absolutely right about what you're saying. I'm not sure. I'd have to do another deep
That's
dive.
what's
into
funny
this.
about it. You're absolutely right.
You
But
are.
there are
You're right and
there's
wrong.
Other,
You're right from your
There's other
perspective.
responses. those people
Yeah.
have the external. And I know for me, I have a huge fight response too because I said that too. It's
You
like,
guys
"No,
are
fuck
both
you."
intuitives also, that ENTJ and IN whatever. I've noticed that the N types have more of a fight response to this because you have a
Yes.
better model of your own identity
But-
than other types.
I did finish the book because also when I was learning about the other attachment styles, it's like, oh, that's why she's that way. It makes more sense when I'm thinking about my partners and how they respond to it. And it's like, oh, okay, let me keep reading this a little bit because I know what attachment style I am, and it's like, okay, I can't be that way. And then I
But
realized
then here's
why
the
they're
thing
doing
is if it's based on, here we go again. If it's based on the person, if it's based on the caregiver or the partner, okay, then does your attachment style change based on who you're interacting with? Because I have different relationships with different people.
It does.
See?
It doesn't change. At different parts of
No.
your style, your responses get activated because sometimes you can get, even though you're avoidant, you might get clingy with one partner if they're also a little more avoidant than you, or if they're just secure.
Yeah.
And then if they're anxious, you might get like really avoidant because they're kind of needy and you're like, I got to set more boundaries with you. Like, get out of here. I'm sick of you. And you avoid them. You don't want to talk to them, and they might have like a nasty fight response. They might be a narcissist and you just know that you're unsafe with them. So a lot of it, this is about security. You're either safe with a partner or you're not. And safety to somebody who's really activated feels weird. It feels foreign. Like you need the anxiety because it's what you're used to. Like, I need them to need me. I don't understand why they just don't need me. Oh God, they must hate me. There's anxious attachment.
Also, another thing too is
so it does change a little bit.
I see your
different parts
question.
get activated.
Also, another thing is I know for me, I guessed what my parents' attachment styles were.
Yeah, we pathologize our partners and our
And then,
parents.
so
It's
yeah,
hard
the
not to.
caregiver's attachment style. Because I think also this is not just about being poly. Like monogamous people you can do this with your friends. You can do this with your family.
Everybody has attachment styles.
Yeah,
Shit.
so I was
We've
like,
all got them. My parents. I'll tell you exactly what theirs are.
This is the attachment style my mom was. That's why I got the treatment that I got.
Yours
Like,
is avoidant.
No mirroring.
She's also got a weird.
Thank you. Spoiler.
You're welcome.
So I realized, the mirroring thing, which is a common characteristic of the avoidant attachment, we have the stoic faces, is because my parents were that way.
Yeah. Hold on. Explain mirroring and what it means and everything.
Well, it's just like if somebody smiles at you, you smile back to them. You mirror their emotions.
And what happened with you?
I didn't really get that.
Yeah.
So
if you smiled, like if you were an infant and you smiled at your mom, or let's say a toddler or something, or if you were crying, she might not.
What's
have...
weird is it's weird in the Asian culture because you get that as a child, but as soon as you it cuts off. You're an adult now. You cook for yourself, you clean for yourself, you do everything for yourself, and then there's no like emotions. If you want counseling, we can go take you to a therapist, but we don't do that here. We can do some of these things and all that, but it's weird because they were hip to like ADHD because I grew up in the time when ADHD, like everybody like realized it was an actual
like boys
thing.
had it. They didn't realize girls had it back then. They realized boys did.
I don't remember my brothers that had it. But like Ritalin had just started coming out about that
We're
time.
about the same age for the
So they were
listeners.
progressive there, but then
Mr.
like
Biscuit.
emotional stuff, there wasn't too much of that. It was very strange. So you can get therapy, you can get the test, but if it's not that, there's no excuse then. You're just being lazy if you're not getting A's and B's and stuff like that. So that's what I got from the book because I had that fight response too. It's like I'm still me, but then it's like, that explains everything else.
I want to tell you
This
guys
is why I have issues.
Exactly. I wouldn't call it issues. It's why you have reactions and the responses.
This
you do.
is why I didn't get into long-term relationships
got
until I
problems.
was 32.
It's true.
So there.
I've always been in long-term relationships. I have serial relationships because I can't be alone because
See,
I'm anxious.
Some of us had high avoidant, very high walls, and nobody can get in unless I lower the drawbridge a little bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that, okay, you don't have to be cool. And I think it's different for men and women anyways.
A lot of things affect
because
all this.
Being
Gender,
cool
society.
in the like misogynistic culture that I'm part of, like you don't show emotions. You don't cry, all that typical stuff that they say now. But it's like, it's because I'm avoiding attachment style.
It wasn't a safe environment for you to show your emotions. You were raised in an environment where your parents were like, I'll give you something to cry about.
Yes, that.
That's a problem.
Rub some dirt in
Like
it.
literally never say that to a child. It's fucking abusive.
Or like
if any of you in the
results driven, very much in the military lifestyle. It's like we don't really talk about do something about it.
Yeah.
It's
Asian
like,
too.
You can cry, just go do something about
Tiger parents, all kinds of stuff like that.
it. Yeah. So that's why I got in the book though. That's why it's like, I should keep on.
I want to give you guys the balance between that. Your personality
And also
is
Freud.
Carl Jung.
I said Freud because
Okay,
everything's your mom. It's all your mom's fault.
Oh, caretaker. Okay, I'll go with that. I mean, they were contemporaries.
In America, it's your mama.
I wish more people knew about Carl Jung.
America.
You
keep saying it.
Listen.
You put his name out there.
Listen, I know, Carl Jung. The personality that each of us develops is a combination of our temperament and our environment. And what happens is that your environment influences your neurology and the way that your tiny infant squishy brain and squishy nervous system with your vagus nerve and your autonomic nervous system and somatic experience, all this shit, your whole brain is affected by your ability to cope with your environment. And your neurology actually adapts to your environment. And so the way your brain is wired, the mental model you have of the world, was actually developed by your temperament response to that environment. The combination of your temperament and your own biological responses that were adaptive for your survival. Like, it's literally how you survived. If your parents were avoidant, you knew you couldn't cry anymore to get their attention, and so you just froze and didn't cry anymore. And somehow then they took care of you because now it's okay. You're not showing emotions, and now they'll come feed you or whatever. All the combinations of that form your personality. Personality is flexible. People don't realize that. I changed my personality type for whatever fucking reason because I wanted to be a little more caring to people. So I really started to change it. That's flexible. It was my temperament, though, that inspired it. Because I knew that I wanted to still be logical, but also learn to care about people because I care so much. And I knew that my cold tactlessness was like hurting people. And so I started to try to see things from their perspective. And I wanted to connect with like different personality types. And I realized I have all these mental blocks. Those are from my mom. They weren't mine. I didn't come up with this like rigid ass bitchy personality like all by myself. If I had to choose, I wouldn't be that way. Because my temperament says, no, you don't want to be a rigid bitch. So I changed it. I decided I don't want to be a rigid bitch anymore. I changed my personality type. It's your temperament that allows you to get through these responses, change your mental model of the world. It's taken me 2 years to be able to do that. That's what you have control over. You actually have full control over your personality. By changing your behaviors, you create new neural pathways. And you choosing to do it is based on the temperament you have internally. If you wanted to be a different person, you could. And it's your temperament that goes. Dame is okay. I got to tell you guys what the fuck's going on. Dame's looking at me like I have 3 fucking eyes and like antler. Do I have my horns on still? No. And her face is red. And she's looking at me like this is the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
Dame, comment.
What the fuck are you thinking right now?
I can turn this camera on over here.
Are you basing your opinion?
Not opinion. It's not an opinion. Yeah, I've studied this for years now. Years. Think about my bachelor's. My master's is in project management, organizational behavior. I study people's relationships. I have a social science bachelor's. This people is my degree. My degree is in people. I engineer and study people. It's my passion. It's my education. It's it. And then after all the bullshit that I've gone through, I went through all of this crap.
I just don't know that I buy into... Why are you laughing at me?
Yeah, it's great. Okay, hold on.
I don't know that I'm
going to tell you guys my personality type is based on like facts that I ingest and not on opinions. So when somebody's like, I don't know if I buy your facts. I'm like, what the fuck? That's what it sounds like is going to happen. Come at this from a book perspective, not an opinion perspective.
Do you know why I'm laughing?
Because he knew this was going to happen. Duh.
Dealing with this shit for 3.5 years.
Because you're an intuitive type, and I'm a sensing. I read shit. I'll find the part in the book that says it.
I'll hitch my cart to this wagon.
Yeah, that was your choice. For now.
Then explain to me.
Tell me your question. I'll take my walls down. I'll quit being a vicious bitch.
Explain to me where your intuition and that starts and stops with your personality. Why?
Ooh, good question.
Because your personality is your personality. And I know that your personality can be flexible based on...
I'm going to draw you a diagram. Do you like diagrams?
Sure.
Does that work? Okay. I don't know if you like that or not.
Who you're around, because we all have different personalities.
Show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Just like we in a prior podcast we talked about representatives. You lead with a representative. That's representative is still part of your personality.
It is.
It's where does the temperament that you're talking about stop and personality start? Because you're talking about changing personalities.
I am.
But you're not talking about changing temperaments. And so if you're going to make that big of a shift internally where it's changing the very essence of your id, then why are we not talking about intuition changing and your personality adapts and follows suits to the changes of your intuition?
That happens also. Okay, I think what you're... Let me ask you, the root of your question, does it have to do with the original reason you brought up why this book is hard to read?
Well, because you're still taking... From my understanding, you're saying that your intuition is what you're born with. We can have it.
Nope, it's not true. Your soul is what you're born with. Whatever you want to call that.
Well, no, because we were talking about like how you can take a 12-month-old and their temperament. Their temperament is going to be the same. We'll call it temperament. It's going to be the same regardless of their caretaker.
Yeah.
Okay. So where does... So the way that I'm hearing you is that you have this internal temperament, which I hear, to me, it translates that this is your id. Okay. So you have your id. And then your personality is if you look at it like orbitally, your id is your nucleus and your personality is on the outside of it.
Hold on, I'm doing the id, ego, superego thing.
And so
Shit.
you can adapt your personality based on the work that you do. You can adapt your personality based on the research that you do. You can adapt your personality based on the therapy, we'll say, that you do. But does that penetrate down to your id? Are you altering who that nucleus is? Or are you just taking the information and absorbing it to a certain level so that you can adapt that outer level to where you are in life? Does it really go down to changing who you are?
It does not. If you don't like pineapple on pizza, I can't convince you ever with therapy or whatever to all of a sudden like pineapple on pizza. Let's get crazy. Let's get all triggery for everybody.
Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Gay conversion therapy is a lie.
Right. Because...
Where's my hot take? You cannot change someone's internal preferences for what they like, and that is what you're saying, id. It's
that's
like,
your id.
I am
Right.
kinky. Right? That's it. It came from me. Nobody convinced me.
You can look at it from all different aspects.
I can deny it. I can't change it.
Think of the most notorious serial killers out there.
That was a combination of environment and temperament. Like,
yes,
not everybody would have been a serial killer. It was just a really bad combo. Perfect storm.
Their internal was completely different than like their personality and what they presented and how they
that's like sociopathy. Yeah, there's
exactly
so much more on top of it.
It doesn't matter. Like, they knew who they were.
Yes.
But their id never changed.
That's right. The id is just from trying to remember freaking Jungian psychology here. The id is what I'm reading. I can give you guys a quick thing. The most primitive part of the human psyche, developed from a person's birth and is present throughout a person's life. That is the thing that doesn't change.
That's the thing that doesn't change.
That is that temperament, your soul, whatever.
All of this work that you're talking about doing is you're not actually changing the internal.
You're aligning. You're aligning with that. That's what you should be. Your id is you.
Right.
Everything else is like a development that affected you, your id,
or it's a coping mechanism.
Right? The trauma reactions are coping mechanisms. Personality is developed not just based on traumas and shit, because you can have if you're creative, like, you have that innately. Everybody does.
Well, that's why you have 3-year-old menses.
Exactly. It was either suppressed or it was nurtured.
Right.
And somebody's like, "Oh, I'm not creative." Like, you don't know that, because
that's why you have 5-year-old piano prodigies.
Exactly.
Because it was nurtured. It wasn't taught to them at 5.
No.
It was something that innately was in them, and they happened to nurture it.
Now, what happens if somebody didn't nurture it?
Then they're not 5-year-old piano prodigies.
And what if they're 25 and they say, "Oh no, I can't play piano. I'm no good at that." Are they actually? They have no idea.
They have no idea.
They don't know what their identity is.
Right.
It was like convinced out of them, but somewhere deep down they're like, maybe I am good at that.
So is the work that you're talking about doing, and all this attachment theory that you're learning about in PolySecure, whether it's you're monogamous or you're poly or not, it's all of this really to work on who you are as a nucleus in your id, or is it to work on the coping mechanisms that you use to protect it?
It is to align your life the way you want it to your id. It's to bring out and nurture the id that might not have been brought out and nurtured.
But what if it had?
You don't have to do this. You have a secure attachment. Good luck with that.
But according to that book, nobody has secure attachment.
Yeah, untrue.
Because
I have a sentence that says it right there.
There's something in all of that is like, there's something fucked up in everybody.
Nope. Guess what? We just think that because we're fucked up.
No, but that's the vibe I got.
Oh, no. 20% I think of the
population.
The
vibe I got was that regardless of how well-rounded you are, something that was fucked up influenced you.
That is kind of true. People, okay, I can give you a little bit of background here. Let me tell you that people who experience a traumatic event in adulthood, let's say something that would normally trigger PTSD, actually do not develop PTSD if they had a secure attachment in childhood. That is very likely that they end up having much less effect of a traumatic event if they were secure. That is research-based. That's from Bessel van der Kolk. The body keeps the score. He did research on children who... There's a little bit of research. I think some of it was empirical evidence. Children who went through September 11th and they had a secure attachment with their parents and they were able to appropriately process that and did not develop PTSD afterwards. And then children who didn't have secure attachment, who didn't have a family support system of security, guess what? PTSD. Same thing with people in the military. They come back. It's different for people who had secure attachment in childhood. They are able to cope with traumas as adults better than other people who didn't have a secure childhood. I'm going to find this part in it. Jessica Fern in this book somewhere says an exact sentence that's you can absolutely develop secure attachment in polyamory. She says it in here somewhere. So unfortunately...
Well, I don't doubt that you can develop it.
Yeah, people have secure attachment, but this book is specifically about when shit goes sideways. Like, people who are reading this book are probably not the ones who have secure attachment. They don't need it. If you spot it, you got it. If you don't spot it, you don't got it. All right? You get triggered by this book, you're like, fuck, this is me. Oh, you got issues. You
Well, just because you say this is me doesn't mean that it has to be triggering.
Yeah, that's true.
That's another thing, too.
It's you guys with your avoidant attachment. You don't think it's triggering. You're stuffing it down. That was a little joke. But is it really a joke? Or are you denying that you're actually upset by it?
But just because
Hey,
it's triggering doesn't mean that it has to be fixed.
Give me an example of a trigger that doesn't have to be fixed. Oh, you know what? Boundary breaking. If somebody breaks my boundaries, fuck yeah, I'm going to get triggered. My fight response is going to come out and I'm going to be like, you know what? I didn't like that. That hurt me. And that's it. My fight response appropriately was triggered to protect me, protect my psyche in the right way, in the way to keep my body healthy, my mind healthy. Now, all trauma responses actually are all triggers are meant to protect your psyche. Some of them were adaptive in childhood, and now that you're an adult, they are maladaptive. They always protected you. That was what they're there for. They're beautiful. They're meant to be there. You developed them. Your beautiful temperament as an infant developed all these wild-ass trauma responses to protect you, to survive. Now as an adult, you don't need some of them anymore. You can get rid of them. The other ones, though, the true ones that protect you, don't ever get rid of those. Those are the ones that protect your boundaries and your standards. So hell yeah, maybe the book is triggering. Maybe it's triggering because you've dealt with abuse before and you read this and you're like, yeah, that motherfucker, he did that. He was like that, son of a bitch. You should absolutely still think that. This is not like roses and toxic positivity.
No, but that's what I'm saying is like I was able
Secure
to...
people get angry, let me tell you.
I was able to read this book and as they're giving examples of the different type of attachment theories, I can think back, like, because your mind does it without you thinking about it. Like you immediately picture situations, you have memories in your mind. You're relating
to your story.
Because you're trying to learn, so you relate.
That's how
right?
I do. I relate.
Okay, yeah. So my mind works in pictures or memories.
Mine does too. How something made you feel.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I can go through and read these and get images of people or situations in my past that would be like, okay, that relates to this.
Like,
okay,
that's what happened.
I can relate to that.
That's a good sense of curiosity.
But that doesn't mean that even though it's all the stuff I keep saying the word bad, but bad, so
you can say bad. We'll figure it out.
Like all the bad things, right?
Yeah.
All the bad types of attachment and all the
maladaptive,
things,
maybe,
or all the things that the caregivers did that they
they can be abusive. That's right. Some of it's abuse, truly.
And so
neglect is abuse. Even
if I can think and picture situations that match what they're discussing, that doesn't mean that still doesn't mean that I need to fix anything in me.
If you don't feel like you do, then don't.
Like, I just feel like I have the ability to recognize it for what it is.
Guess what? That's exactly what the point of studying all this is. You already can do it then. That's what we're trying to get to.
I call that compartmentalizing. Because I could appreciate it for what it was. I can see it for what it was. I can see it
the trauma
for however fucked up it was.
Yep.
But I don't feel like
it doesn't personally affect you so much anymore. It's just like a red flag. Let's say.
Like I can just see it for what
trauma.
it is.
Yeah, that means your brain must have been curious still. And something happened and you went like this, with your eyes up, to the left, and your brain just logically went, well, that sucks. You know what? It wasn't about me. They were an abusive asshole and I'm still a good person and they came at it from whatever. And it's just an experience and you separate yourself
from it.
And
I think that's my biggest hang up with books like this is it takes away the ability. It feels like it takes away the ability for people to be able to recognize things simply for what they are, and not have to own it and internalize it and feel like it needs to be something to be worked on. I feel like in this book, the way that they describe everything, it's almost like if you experience this, or you are, now again, I didn't finish the book. So that's probably because I just got through the first part of it. But it was like, if you experience this or you had this, then this needs to be fixed in order for you to be successful, or in order for you to have healthy relationships.
There are actually, though, some things in here that, you do need to fix in order to be successful and have healthy relationships. But there are some things in here that you do. But
I think
sometimes you've already fixed it.
Right. And I just think it takes away from the fact that maybe it's something that you can just recognize for what it is and acknowledge it for what it is, and then be like, okay, and you keep walking.
That's the result of having read a lot of this stuff, is that you learn, if you haven't already done that, and a lot of people haven't done that processing. So what you're talking about is you've processed the trauma. All of this stuff teaches you how to process the trauma.
And it doesn't mean that it didn't influence me. It doesn't mean that it didn't have an impact on me. It doesn't mean it's not something that I don't think about or be like, like
shit, that was a big red flag, and it'd be really
like
nice if I would have noticed that. Fuck, I'm never going to do that again. Yeah, it's a lesson.
But I don't internalize it. I don't take on other people.
You don't take it personally.
I don't take it on. Yeah.
Well, good. I mean, that's the point. That's in a different book. So, yeah, what do you got?
Okay.
Yeah, somebody
I
else,
see what you're saying. So for me, I don't think it was something you can fix. I think because you can't do anything about your caregivers. You were raised a certain way. You can wish you had different parents, whatever.
Wish in one hand.
Situation. I think, at least from what I got from the book, is it explained why I thought the way I did, and explained why I had previously unsuccessful relationships. And then now going into polyamory, it's like I want more successful relationships. And this is just one tool that helps me relate to other people. So I'm very much avoiding attachment. I have high walls. It takes a long time for my walls to come down and let somebody in. Mm-hmm. I realize I can't have high walls and have partners. It's just not possible. It's because I'm a guy, I date women, whatever it is. That doesn't work. I can't really comment on being gay because I've never dated a guy. But I just know for the partners that I attract, I can't do that. Otherwise, they will go away. If I want to end a relationship, I'll keep my walls up. I want to, that kind of thing. So what the book helped me realize is, that's what I'm doing. I can't be stoic. Being cool is not a thing. Don't cry. Don't show any emotion. Don't mirror any of that.
Yeah, you also have to give when you're avoidant. There's receiving and the walls are up, and then there's being able to give love and give affection. You have to be able to do that too and not, quote, avoid it.
So I just know for me, reading the book, especially if you get all the way to the end about hearts and everything like that, it gives you tools on what to do with that. So there's really no way to fix how you were raised, but there's ways to okay, so I have these tools now, and I know what's not good for a relationship. If I want to, my id says I want to be alone, then be alone. But I just realized I don't want to be alone, but so I need to compromise.
Your avoidance is an attachment issue, not what you want as a person from your id.
Yeah,
your soul wants to attach.
I don't want to be alone, so I gotta lower my walls. Yeah, be less of
and avoidance will make you alone. Yes, 100%. The consequences of an avoidant attachment style is I'm by myself forever.
And it's good when I attract anxiously attached partners. It's that's what they're doing. Oh, they're not narcissistic.
He's not looking at me. That was good.
They're very codependent.
Okay, but go back to that.
Narcissists are codependent.
But exactly. So where?
Oh, hold on.
I'm talking about but it's still two different things, though.
Yeah.
But they are so.
I'll give an example.
Similar.
I know the difference. Guess what I studied?
The book will help you tell the difference.
Yeah.
It lets you know the difference.
It's does.
They're not trying to make me think the way they are. They're just
reacting.
They have an anxious attachment because
So codependence. Narcissists are codependent, but not all codependents are narcissists. There's a difference in a pattern that narcissists have to gain attention, and it's not necessarily just for to connect with someone in a healthy way, which regular people would love. Narcissists have it embedded a little more deeply and are malignant about it. So it's a cycle of this is a tough topic to talk about.
Oh yeah, especially tough when every partner you attract is codependent, but not all of them are narcissistic.
It's true. It's very hard to tell the difference. Extremely. So the fight response is a little bit different. I've got a we'd have to. This is a whole nother.
We're just talking about PolySecure. So
yeah, there is a
up.
difference. For you and I can talk to you about this after we're done because I have a whole website that I've written that I dedicated to difference.
I'm not trying to be difficult about the book. I'm not.
No, you have an opinion that a lot of people have.
Most of the people I know would have probably that same reaction that you're having. Because this is just one book, though. Here's the deal.
It's just one book.
This is not the end-all, be-all of polyamorous relationships, and certainly not the end-all, be-all of attachment theory.
Yeah,
and it's definitely not the end-all, be-all of what you would like to see, which is more autonomy, responsibility. How is it that I'm able to process these traumas instead of just wallowing in it? Instead of just going, oh, it exists. What do I do now?
Yeah.
I was abused. Like, yeah, cool.
Like, I'm almost
Shit went
afraid
down.
that some people would take these books and be like, that's the name I've been looking for. And that's the thing That's
have beautiful sometimes, though. Because
yes,
now when
but
you name it,
it's
you can
not.
own it, and then you can go, I want to do something about this.
Or they can hide behind it and use it as an excuse to why every other thing that they do.
Well, that's people in general. So
That's people who want to fight that. Narcissists will do that. Some codependents who don't realize that they want. It's okay. No,
I'm going to a therapist.
My poor Mr.
Like,
Biscuit.
no, that doesn't.
You want to talk about
mean
that?
Anything?
Yeah.
No, we're not talking about it because we're wrapping up.
Yep.
So the point is,
All right.
PolySecure.
This is not the end all be all book.
Very,
There are
very
more, but it's
lightly
beautiful.
taught. And if anybody knows anything, attachment theory is a very deep rabbit hole that you can go down. There are specific books just with attachment theory in it, but this is specifically relating polyamory to
Attachment theory. It
theory,
says it right
because
on the
you can-
cover. You read that.
because you can also do. She talks about consensual non-monogamy in there. That's not just polyamory.
Yeah, CNN.
But
It's got
there's a lot of books that talk about specifically non-monogamy, polyamory, and attachment theory. Yeah. This one kind of relates all of that together.
Yeah.
And then you have Hearts, which she gives you tools at the end of the book to relate it even more to specifically polyamory.
Yeah.
So
You want me
it's
to go
kind
over
of-
Hearts real quick, or
kind
we
of
run
very
out of time?
subjective. Yeah, wrap it up real quick.
Okay. Hearts. Here's what you can actually do. Be here with your partner. It's showing up for them, basically. Expressed delight is the E. Let me get to that real quick. When our partners are able to articulate the ways that we are special and valuable to them, our interpersonal self-worth is supported. Very important for someone like me who is codependent, anxious attachment, inconsistent parenting, neglected, abused, whatever. I don't have a big sense of self. And so in order to develop a sense of self, sometime it's nice to have external validation. And then from there, I actually have something to hold on to and build on top of that. So you express delight about your partner. There's a gratitude practices are really good for this.
Did everybody high-five themselves today?
I didn't. I should. You know what? I'm giving myself like 15 stickers because I'm doing a damn fine job right now. I thought I would get really triggered by this, and I'm not. I'm doing good. Attunement. It has got to do with that has to do with mirroring, I want to say. Pretty sure. Hold on. Let me get to the page of the book. Shit. Emotional bonds. Attuning to a partner doesn't mean you have to agree with them and take their experience as your own, but it does mean you're willing to join them in their internal emotional world and their inner state of mind in order to empathize with what they are going through. It's just about empathy. You don't need to own it. It's not about you. It's like holding space for each other. And where am I? R? Am I at R? H-E-A-R. Rituals and routines. Okay. This is going to be rough. Think about like date nights with people. You know, you want to keep your relationship stable and consistent. Consistency is actually really important for a lot of attachment types.
God. And then the big thing in the area that we live in, people like to cancel because they're not feeling well, or
they flake.
They flake a lot in this area, and that is a big triggering thing for me. So if the ritual is not kept, if you cancel on me twice, you got twice, and we're not together anymore.
Yeah, it's a trust thing. So rituals and routines are important. Scheduling is important.
Well, because it's showing somebody priority, like
Yes.
like
It's
whether
respect.
are they really important to you?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get that.
Does somebody want to meet you at your level of vulnerability? You reached out to them and they said no with their actions, and that feels kind of shitty. So it's a trust ladder kind of thing.
Especially if it's people that you've already invested in.
Oh my God.
That's frustrating for me. Like if we've invested in each other,
For
and
me,
then you
put my
start.
dick in or allowed to have their dick inside of you, it's like, what the fuck?
I was talking more friendship. I mean, we can talk dicks, but okay.
I'm talking about Dickens.
We can
that's
talk
that's the
dick and
worst.
things.
The dick and things. Ugh.
We just had a long week, so give me a minute. Sorry, Mr. Biscuits. And this is a big one. This is a big one for me, actually. The T is turning towards each other after conflict. So if let's say you're anxious and you've got an avoidant partner, I'd like to tell you guys, here's some narcissistic shit. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp might not be avioidant, let's say.
That's a whole nother part.
Yeah, he might be secure, but what he needed was, let's say, a few hours of time to like decompress. And this narcissistic bitch would say, oh no, I mean, just turning toward him, I really just need him to talk to me. Really, she was like breaking the door down to hunt him down, to make him talk to her. Like, he's not even being avoidant, he just needs some space.
Right.
And maybe he was being avoidant. She's not respecting her partner's boundaries, his need to process, his need to, maybe he's an introvert and understand. No. So she's not just turning towards him to help repair a rupture of conflict.
Running like a fucking freight train.
Yeah, she's got an anxious attachment and codependent, and I can give you a bunch of different other traits. There's a narcissist.
Yeah.
There it is. And they actually said histrionic personality disorder when they did her forensic psychology. I don't really trust forensic psychology so much, but we pathologize each other all the time. So if I had to pick one, that's a pretty good one. So turning towards each other after conflict is, let's give an example, is let's say an anxious partner. God, I've got so many good sites for this. An anxious partner turning toward an avoidant partner, and the avoidant partner recognizing, you know what, my partner's trying to make a bid to reconcile with me. I'm going to open up, and instead of, just stonewalling and going, I don't want to talk to you, or just like walking out, I'm going to sit here with it and listen to what they have to say, and then say, thank you for explaining that to me, or something. You turn toward each other instead of literally physically turning away, or just saying it's fine, or
makeup sex.
Or I'm not talking about this. Makeup sex is dangerous. I don't know. Do not recommend that. Unless, you know what?
There's some validity to makeup sex.
Sometimes it's trauma bonding because you got into an argument, and there are narcissists who will purposefully argue with you, and then they reconcile, and it's the heightened emotions.
Well, they argue
to
get the sex because it forces you to be close to them.
Yeah, and that's what people with there's actually a coping mechanism. What is that called? When you're addicted to sex addicts.
Yeah.
That can actually come out in narcissistic people, that the codependent alcohol, they're trying to feed an addiction, and they'll use sex as one of the things to feed the attention that they need to get.
But on the other side,
so that's a big trigger for me.
Makeup sex can be
after you've repaired a rupture.
Right.
In a conflict.
Because you're reconnecting, you're turning towards each other. Yeah. You're basically, it's like you're making your world so small that it's just the two of you in that moment.
And that's
so that you
healthy.
Can rebuild again.
Yes, that's healthy, but the repair has to happen before that. Sex does not repair it.
No.
The repair happens before, and then it's like, okay, and we both feel good about this, and there's no emotional triggers, and it's like, wow, this really worked out. I feel really comfortable right now. And then it just kind of, so people can use that.
Do not just put the dick in your mouth to just shut them up.
Well, no, because if you didn't do the work beforehand, it just turns into a grudge fuck.
You go and bite it. Yeah, grudge fucks are bad. Yeah,
it just turns into like a hate fuck.
Okay. Trigger City. Oh, God. All right, the last one. I think Jessica Fern actually added this, the S in hearts. Oh, sorry, that last one got me. Ooh, that's... yeah. Ooh.
Bring it on
was
home.
I was over 18, so I can actually talk about it. So that's good. Yeah. All right. The S in hearts, secure attachment. Here you go. This is mine. Secure attachment with self. Well, guess what? If you don't have a sense of self, you can't securely attach to it. So for the rest of us who don't have that, you have to build yourself from the ground up. Like, we don't have a sense of identity. It was denied in us. We were not allowed to develop a sense of identity. One day maybe I'll get into that. What you've got to do, though, is develop your first secure attachment with yourself. And what does she call it? Earned secure attachment. Those who did not experience a securely attached childhood can still develop earned secure attachment. One way is to earn it is through making sense of your story. And a lot of what this book is trying to make sense of what happened to you, so that then you can understand, oh my God, this wasn't my fault. I didn't deserve to be abused. Wow, this is enlightening for some people. And then you don't use it as an excuse. Understanding your story, and for somebody like me who's really like research-based, I need to understand it first, and then I can read 200 books to realize I didn't need to read those 200 books. but I did, and it was really helpful, and now I get it, and now I can really like let it go. I can't let it go until I find the bottom. And so I didn't have a sense of self. I couldn't tell it wasn't me. I thought it was me. I've internalized the blame and shame my entire life. My whole personality is like shame based. And in order to get out of that, I had to understand this whole book and all those other ones that are behind me. There's like 4 of them. Yeah. So I have about 100 books on all this kind of shit. Secure attachment with yourself can help secure attachment with other people, and vice versa. A secure person can help you develop your own sense of identity, a partner validating you, not codependently, not like always validating, but when you know that it's helping inspire a sense of worth, it helps you have an anchor to hold on to, and you actually develop identity that you didn't have or you didn't know about based on your id, that thing that's down there. Like they see that you have that, they know it down there, and like you have a soul here. And it's not like, oh, you have so much potential. It's like, I see yourself. I see your worth. You have worth. They build on top of that. Sometimes you just need somebody like that to grab onto. Anyway, the S is secure attachment with yourself. For some of us,
Yay, we did it.
That's it.
We made it to
Done.
the end. So if you enjoy that stuff, then go ahead and grab the book. It's PolySecure.
Yep,
by
PolySecure, Jessica Fern. About attachment, trauma, and consensual non-monogamy. It's 2020, I think this book was written. It's really new.
Yes, very new book.
Yeah, a lot of attachment, a lot of this stuff is actually pretty new. So, complex PTSD, new topic.
It's great.
Anyway, PolySecure, I highly recommend it. To me, it is the like gold standard right now for the moment for relationships and
go
consensual non-monogamy
and,
relationships.
go back and listen to Geeking Out, where Dame talks about her journey with Lord of the Rings
and
and then,
Harry Potter.
Go back and listen to the Friends podcast, where we talk about our performer. What is it?
Oh, our
What the performer? Oh,
no,
the R.
our representative.
Representative.
Yeah,
Shameless plug.
That was a good one.
representative.
Yeah,
I believe that
you
was
guys
the
brought
Friends
that up.
one.
That's,
All right.
That's one of my favorites.
So
like
that was this episode. You can catch us next time.
What was it called?
Yeah.
Around the, I was going to say Beyond the Kinky podcast.
Yeah,
Around
there
the
it is.
Don't
Kinky
fall for this like him.
Fuck.
Don't
Beyond
do
the
it.
bonfire.
Don't do it.
Fuck.
To my right, I have.
Oh, that's you.
That's me, Dame.
To my left, I have.
Esmeralda.
And this is Cheddar Bay Biscuits.
Mr. Biscuit.
Go eat some
Mr.
Red Lobster.
Meow.
And catch us next time.
Yeah.
Hello. No, how dare you? Oh, no, actually, it's
Wow. Oh.
I'm a wolf. I know, cat.
You're like a wolf and a dog. You're like a chimera of all kinds of shit.
All the stuff that bites your ass.
It's
You're welcome.
my
Hello.
favorite episode. And goodbye.
And goodbye.